We've all been here many times before. The first days of January, when you just take a deep breath and you can see all the possibilities to change your life. But let me ask you a question. Do you remember the goals you set a year ago? Did you accomplish all of them? Did you accomplish most of them? Did you accomplish even one of them? If the answer is no, then this video is definitely for you, because today I will be sharing with you the method that I use to keep me focused all year long on my goals and actually accomplish them.
It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it.
If you enjoy fashion, life in Paris, productivity videos, and maybe some business videos coming up, definitely subscribe to this channel. If at the end of the video you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, or if you want to send me a DM on Insta, go ahead and do so, and follow me on social media for more. I am at Fancyandparis on both Instagram and TikTok, and yeah, that's it. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, if you know me, you know that I love productivity, and over the years I have educated myself on multiple methods, apps, calendars, you name it, but I think I finally found the one that works wonders for me, and I think it can work for everyone. Now, we all know the feeling that I mentioned earlier. If you know about this feeling, let me know in the comments down below. But you know, it's that feeling of new opportunities, the promise of a new life every time a new year comes around. At the beginning of the year, we're fairly certain that this is the year and we are going to accomplish all our goals, so we just sign up to the gym, you do your New Year's resolutions, and you drink your water, and you meditate, and everything is on track. But then life gets in the way, and before you realize it, it's March. But it's okay, you still have the whole year ahead of you. So you say, you know what, this week didn't work out, I'll start next Monday. But then next Monday, life gets in the way. And then you repeat this process all year long, and when you realize it's October, it's Halloween, and what's the point anymore? You'll just do it next year. This is how it goes for most people. But if you're here, if you're watching this video, it's because you've had enough of this cycle, and you know that you're capable of more, and you're ready to actually make it happen, and to understand that, as Brian Moran says, the only thing standing between you and the life you're capable of living is your lack of consistent execution. But enough chit chat, let's actually get into the actual method, which is the 12-week year method. Now, the 12-week year is this little book right here. I just mentioned my dear friend Brian Moran, which is actually the author of this book, and he's actually not my friend in real life at all, but I read his book, so I feel like we're friends. But this is the method that I've used and that I will probably continue to use for many years to come. I heavily encourage you all to read this book. It is going to bring you much more value than just the method alone, so I definitely encourage you to read it. But it basically presents a method that is used by athletes, by entrepreneurs, by companies to accomplish their goals. So this book presents the idea that a year, the actual 12 months, is too vast of a timeline to actually accomplish a goal effectively, because we can't measure our actions quarterly or once a year or twice a year. Action happens every day, every hour, every week. So if we only take stock of our results once or twice a year, it leaves us plenty of room to just get comfortable and let time pass by until the deadline approaches, which is actually perfectly illustrated by this little curve that I'm going to leave right here, which is the hyperbolic curve depicting motivation to complete an assignment, which, as you can see, action only begins to happen as the deadline approaches. If you have a task and you have 1 week to complete it, you will take 1 week. But if you have the same task and you have 1 month to complete it, you will also take 1 month. So the 12-week year method is just that, the idea that instead of having a year be 12 months, a year should be only 12 weeks. 12 weeks of focused work, and then in the 13th week, we rest. Now, 12 weeks is obviously 3 months, which is enough time for you to project yourself in the future, but it's also short enough to keep you on your toes and to keep you taking constant action towards your goals. There's also an emotional connection that we as humans have to new beginnings. We just love that kick of energy that we get every time a new year starts. I personally love the idea of having a new beginning every 3 months, because you get 4 times as much new beginnings as if you do it yearly. And for me, this method actually just grounds dreams into actionable steps, which is the best way to achieve your dreams. Anything in life is possible. I always tell you guys, whenever you send me a DM, or whenever you guys talk to me about your dreams, I don't say this to be like motivational or whatever. Like, literally, if you can think it, you can plan it, you can take action, and then it becomes a reality. Like, it literally is that simple. Let's get into why is this method so successful. If you read the book, you're going to find a quote that says, without a compelling reason, most people will choose comfortable actions over uncomfortable actions. And this quote, it's so true, because you see, the thing is, we tend to forget our New Year's resolutions and our big goals by like the end of January or February, and by then we fall back into our old patterns. But with this method, you actually revise your goals every day and every week so that you don't forget them. You have them literally staring at you every day so that you know exactly how far along you are to accomplishing them. It's important to know that in order for this method to work, and in order for really anything in life to work, you have to value your end goals, your life vision, your why more than your own comfort. Because it's actually super easy to follow this method, but it's even easier to not follow it. So keep your vision and keep your dreams in mind, and let's get into it. Okay, so you guys can get a copy of this template that I will leave a link for in the description down below, so you can fill it with your own goals and objectives. But for demonstration purposes, I have this one so you can fully understand how to use it. So as you can see, we first have the vision, you know, your life vision. You write your vision for the long and short term at the top, so it's the first thing you see. Then you break that vision down into goals. I usually split them into personal, professional, and spiritual. And then most importantly, you will decide of the tactics that you will use in order to achieve these goals. The tactics are strategic actions that are going to be defined by you and that you will use to achieve your goals. They don't have to be the same all year long. For most of them, they will change often, but it's important that you keep in mind that this is not a to-do list. This is why I included the little to-do portion at the top of the screen, so you can write down the things that you need to do so you don't forget, but you don't mess up your 12-week planner. In here, I did this little example. So first of all, for the 3-year vision, I just said having established my brand as a market leader with a 7-digit profit, be financially free, and have put down a payment for a house in the city, and have a happy family life, have a healthy lifestyle that allows me to keep and reach my goal weight of X, etc, etc. For your longer term goals, obviously you can be a little bit more vague because it's more difficult to know where you're going to be in 3 years, but you can be more specific with your 1-year goals, which for my example, I just said have great habits that will allow me to reach my goals, establish my brand in the top of the market with 4 to 5 digit profit, save 30% of my revenue monthly, and invest X into the financial markets. As you can see, the short-term vision is coherent with the 3-year vision, because I'm not going to say on the 1-year vision, you know, make a 4-digit profit and then for 3 years make $10 million, because it's just not going to work that way. So you have to be a little bit coherent between the two. Your long-term vision, it's more there as a motivation, but the 12-week planner is actually going to be based on your 1-year vision. So you're going to take that vision and break it down into different goals. I just wrote this up as an example. So if you want to have great habits that will allow you to reach your goals, maybe follow a smart morning and night routine. The vision says that you will save 30% of your monthly revenue, so I just put it there. If you want to make an X amount of profit, then you have to know how many units per day you have to sell or how many contracts you have to sign. Maybe you want to increase your social media following as well to grow your business. Then to achieve each goal, you're going to determine which tactic to follow. So for example, if you want to follow a morning and night routine, maybe you want to wake up a little bit earlier, so wake up at 6. How many times a week? 6 times. If you want to sleep in on Sunday, do every week, because this is something that you maybe want to follow all year long. For the second one, if you want to save 30% of your monthly revenue, then maybe you want to download and fill in a personal budget tracker. You're going to do this once a week, and this is going to be due next week, etc. You just really want to find out what tactics and what actions you need to take in order to accomplish your individual goals that you set up for yourself. Now, how you keep track of your progress is every day or every night. I personally do it every night. You're going to mark a little on the right on the corresponding day of the task. This will amount to a total percentage, which will be your score for the week. If your score is above 75%, you're constantly getting closer to your goals. But if it's lower, you may have to work on your execution plans. And last but not least of this method is the WAM, or the weekly accountability meeting, which I personally really like a lot, even though I do it by myself. but accountability is always more effective when you have an accountability partner or multiple accountability partners. So if you have, I don't know, maybe your sister, your mom, your boyfriend, somebody wants to join you on this little productivity journey, then definitely go ahead and make them your accountability partner, because this is going to be great for you. WAMs are supposed to be done weekly, either the last thing you do on Sunday or the first thing you do on Monday, but they should not take longer than 15 minutes depending on how many people there are in the meeting. And each accountability partner will ask each other these following questions. First one, what are your results for the 12-week year to date? It's very important you don't confuse your results to your score. Your score and your results are different, because let's say they want to make, I don't know, $1 million by the end of the year. Well, if you want to make $1 million by the end of the year, you have to have made 500K by June. So if you have to have made 500K by June, then you have to have made 250 by March. So the WAM is great for that, because you're actually going to see if you're near that result, or if you're nowhere near that result, or if you're past that result. So do not mix the score with the results. Next question, what is your weekly execution score? If the score is lower than expected, then what prevented you from reaching your ideal score? How can you do better next week? And what are your intentions for next week? And finally, the feedback and suggestions from the group, which is always great to have. Okay, and that is this method in a nutshell, but I cannot say enough. Really, I really encourage you to read the book. It is going to absolutely complete this method a lot, and it's also going to give you a lot more value. But what do you think of this method? Are you liking it so far? I know at first it might seem like a little bit too much, but that is the difference between the people who actually accomplish things and those who don't, is that the people who accomplish things, they're not afraid to be uncomfortable. Like if this method is used in companies, it's because companies have goals. They're not paying people just for the fun of it. You know, you have to accomplish your goals. So why wouldn't you want to do the same for you? But before ending the video, I just want to say something real quick, because I made this mistake, and I know a lot of people made this mistake, and it is that we just want the instant gratification. We're used to it, especially in today's world. You know, we want everything for yesterday. So whenever you start doing the tactics and you know, it's like, oh my god, it's week 4 and I still see no results, this tactic is the wrong one, I'm just going to change the tactic. That is one of the common pitfalls that they actually mention in the book, is that more often than not, the tactic is actually the right one, but you have to actually stick to it a little bit longer to start to see results. So in the beginning, when I started this process, I was just changing tactics all the time, and I was like, this does not work, this does not work, and it just derailed my results, and they actually took longer. So stay consistent, and I promise at the end things will pay off. So there you have it. I really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you have any questions or thoughts, or maybe some ideas for new videos, definitely leave them in the comments down below, or send me a DM on Insta, because I always answer. If you enjoyed this video, if it brought you some value, please give it a like and subscribe so you know, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!